This is CUTV News. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Today I have the pleasure of welcoming Barbara Ann Rose. Barbara is a holistic transformational coach, public speaker, trainer, healer, mentor, and successful author. Barbara believes in helping the entire person, mind, body, and spirit. Because Barbara believes touch is an important part of healing, she also uses her expertise as a licensed massage therapist. She conducts intensive weekend workshops for men, women, and couples to better understand themselves, the opposite sex, and their relationships, including addressing difficult issues like trauma, addiction, sexuality, and intimacy. Barbara Ann Rose joins me in the CUTV News studios for a one-on-one interview, as well as exercise and massage therapy demonstrations. Barbara, welcome to CUTV News.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You know, I'm just going over that introduction of the millions of things that you do. It's incredible, all the wonderful things you do inspiring others. But can you tell us maybe a little of the backstory? What is your source of inspiration? How are you setting out every day to inspire people in the way that you do so beautifully? Tell us about that. I
love people. I love cultures, all sorts of different types of individuals. I love getting to know them. I've always kind of been that way, open, a friend to whoever wants to accept that friendship and get to know them on a real level, the person that's inside of them. And so me, I guess that inspiration is just within me of I wouldn't say inspiring myself, but it's within inside of me that which inspires me to be friendly and be kind to people that come across my path and be open to listen to them.
And you like to connect. You like to connect to the core. You like to really understand and get to the essence of the person. I mean, like I said, you do a myriad of different things. You touch upon a lot of different things in your career, but it's not really a career to you. It's really getting to know the person and getting that sort of deeper connection on a deeper level, right? And that's when people really relate and absorb and are able to better their own lives because of it, right?
Very humbling.
It's beautiful work that you do. And they're touched by you, and you're touched by them. It's a symbiotic relationship.
I wasn't thinking of having tissues here.
No, you know what it is? It shows that you're a real person. It shows that you really care about what you do. Because even yourself, in your book, Angel Works, which is an amazing read, and I do suggest people read it, you even come from experiences yourself that weren't always the best in your own life, that somebody right now watching might be going through themselves, or they know somebody who is, and they might be able to relate to it. Tell us about how the book developed and that cathartic experience of putting it all down on paper and then sharing your life story with an audience in the way that you do. Tell us a little bit about the background and what led to the actual book, Angel Works.
What led to the actual book is, well, I have had a couple people here and there tell me that I should write a book about my experiences because of the sexual abuse that happened to me when I was a child. I was a toddler, so I didn't know what was going on at the time, and I didn't realize it until maybe 35 years later. I had gone through an eating disorder as well during my teenage and adult years, and wow. I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. So when my girl was born, my baby, when she was about 3, there was something that was triggered really, really deep and strong inside of me, and I didn't really know where that was coming from. And through that, I ended up finding out that it was about the sexual abuse. And the eating disorder actually covered the sexual abuse of stuffing the feelings down, stuffing emotions down. Yeah.
A lot of people do that. They use it
Right.
as a numbing agent. They use it in food and other things, medicines, opiates. You hear so much about
Sex,
alcohol.
all
Right.
sorts of any addiction, all addictions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the book itself is sort of a self-help book. You hope that people are able to find things within the body of the book and the content of the book that maybe they can connect with and help lift themselves out of the scenario that they're in.
Give them their own be inspired through my story, and to not give up on their dreams, to dream big, and not be afraid
Not to
do
right,
that dream, because the dream is there. It's inside of you,
right.
you know, for a reason.
A lot of things we find as life goes on are inside us. It's just through life and through our experiences, we suppress them and we bury them, and sometimes trauma does that, or we're talked down to, or different things happen to us where we don't allow the essential self, the real self, to come up. It's been forced down. With you, how were you able to go through the various traumas at such a young age and be able to become the incredible person that you are today?
Thank you. I refused to give up. I mean, everybody, I have my moments. I mean, we all have our times where we have these dreams that we want, and we want to fall back and just succumb to what society thinks or expects us to do, or what our parents expected to do, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I just was determined, and I knew, because I could feel it, you know, this within me, that burning desire, that there's something there, there's something bigger for me, there's something a lot bigger for me. And I hold on to that. I don't give up to that, because I know it comes from that core, the essence of who I am, of God, of spirit, of this energy, this source that's there. And I, for one, I cannot just let that go.
Right.
It's not me. It's just
right.
not in my nature.
Right. And you are divinely destined to connect with people. You understand the human condition, the human experience, and out of that drives you to do all the different things that you do: mentor, healer, coach, fitness, all these things, which we'll talk about more during the interview. But it's this strong desire in a divine level
Yes.
to really connect
Yes.
to the core, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Divinity is like a beautiful, beautiful place to be.
When did you realize
and feel
that?
and
When
see.
did you yourself tap into that?
I've always felt that I've always been tapped in, because when I was 2 years old, that my very first, and when I talk about that in my book, that's kind of like how I introduced the book too, about when I was 2, I could sense and feel the spirit around me, and them, who they, you know, I could just feel this energy, and I knew it didn't come from the human realm, you know, the spiritual realm, and it felt calming. And them just informing me that I'm meant for big things in a spiritual way, for all of humanity. For this 2-year-old child, for me to be able to feel that, hear that, sense
Such
that.
an early age to recognize.
Is just, I never forgot that. I chose to never forget that.
And by tapping into that at such a young age, did that help you get through the things that you dealt with as the years went on? Were you able to have that as your go-to support within?
Yes, yes, yes.
So through your work, a lot of it is transformation, it's transformative.
Yes.
So through your work, one of your goals is to show people how they, within themselves, can tap into that too, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes.
Is that part of the holistic transformation coaching that you do?
Yes, there's so many different ways that we can tap into our own selves, and sometimes a massage therapist such as myself that's more holistic and with the divine touch can, you know, can help a person feel that, can feel, when a person can actually feel love, then they can know love.
Not just read words.
Not just read words or just hear words. But so, I mean, it happens through the voice. It happens through the touch. It happens through, you know, helping this other person or this couple understand and tapping into the essence of their own self. Because oftentimes they forget. And they have forgotten.
Right.
A lot of humanity has forgotten.
They've gone down another path, or life has gotten in the way, right? Daily life. So then to be able to do this kind of work, you have to have almost sort of like a higher consciousness and a real understanding of people. I would imagine that you can even sense, without sometimes people even saying the words, when somebody is in need, when somebody needs to find their way again, their purpose, their meaning. You can sense that early without them sometimes probably even saying it, right?
Right.
I got the program, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's true. It's really true.
Yes,
huh?
it comes across in many different ways.
It does, like you said.
Of me feeling energy, or people's energy,
It's an energy.
or a person's energy.
Now, for people watching, and they're saying, okay, the energy, what are we talking about with the energy? How do you describe that for the viewer in terms of this energy?
How do you describe consciousness? How do you describe source? How do you describe the unknown that the physical eye cannot see?
Right.
It's there. I feel it now.
You feel
I feel it here. I feel it now. I feel this higher energy around in this room, and just they're there knowing that this is good.
You mentioned touch as an essential component, and in the introduction I mentioned that that is very important to you. Through the massage therapy that you do as a licensed professional certified massage therapist, touch is essential. Tell us about the importance, maybe a little bit more about why touch is essential and what happens during that process. A little bit later we'll do a massage therapy demonstration. We'll see this actually happening. But describe the importance of touch and why for you it's so essential, but also for the person that you're doing the work on.
Touch is life. Touch gives life. We're born from touch. You know, when the mother is giving birth to that child, that first moments of life, they're being touched. So touch is crucial. Touch is food, is nurturing to the soul and to the heart and to the mind and to the whole entire being. So when someone is not receiving touch for whatever reason, then there's that lack of sense of love, of being cared for, because that's normally, you know, how we're brought into life. And hopefully that's how we end in life, that we're surrounded by people who love us and that are there to even just hold our hand as we pass from this body.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Are we straying away from that in society? With all the technology and all the things that are coming at us, where the sense of that human connection and touch is not really as prevalent for individuals on a day-to-day basis? Because I
would say yes and no, only because people are afraid, because there's too much fear surrounding touch. Why in God's name has
that happened or developed?
Why is that happening?
How did we get to that point?
You know, we're not supposed to be afraid to touch another person. We shouldn't have to feel that way.
Exactly,
You know, it should be okay to give a child a hug and not be afraid that someone is going to see that and misconstrue that as something else, you know, when it's a genuine care for another person.
Absolutely. Through all of this, too, you've also developed, and we'll show a demonstration a little bit later, too, of an exercise program, and this particular one that you have is designed specifically for women. Tell us a little bit about how you created that, and what was the inspiration for wanting to create something that involved exercise? Because I know that you have been, you know, very involved in the fitness world. You've been a competitive champion fitness model, and tell us a little bit about that. It's pretty exciting.
Champion.
Yeah, award-winning, right?
Well, I have been in a few
bodybuilding,
competitions in 2000. You know, amateur bodybuilding. I did a couple, 2 or 3 of them, and then some swimsuit and a figure. The last one was the figure in 2005. So yes, but I've always been in touch with my body, and I've always enjoyed seeing those kind of transformations. You said champion, and then I kind of lost track.
That's a good way to.
The exercise program.
Focus.
The exercise program.
It all leads to
right. My life, all the things that I've gone through in my life with the abuse and the eating disorder and the marriage and, you know, all those kind of things, and me going into fitness and me being connected with myself and with spirituality and my own spiritual gifts, and using them and embracing them and not being afraid of them, and keep moving forward and keep moving forward and keep getting more connected with people through personal training and the massage therapy. It just one leads into another, and then feeling and sensing energy in more ways and in heightened ways, and knowing women that the majority, half of women in the United States are on a diet. Mm-hmm. I think it's 25 million women, not just in the United States, but 25 million women compulsively overeat. And 90% of women have issues with their body image. Now, I used to be one of them.
So you can relate.
And so I can definitely relate. And through the competing, actually, in my very first competition, I was already aware that I was sexually abused at the time when I was going through this transformation. And doing that, there was this certain exercises that my trainer wanted me to practice. And you know, you need to practice every single day to make it through. When I'm pretty good with following directions, and I follow through what he tells me to do because I want to succeed at this.
Exactly.
And there was this one particular exercise with the abs, and usually this is something that you do in front of the mirror, you know, to see how your form is and to correct that, do that correctly. So when I was doing this ab exercise, this ab for the amateur bodybuilding, I had this trigger of the sexual abuse, and it was interesting that I noticed it happened only really when I did the ab exercises versus any other exercise. And I faced that fear. I faced myself. I faced the fear of the sexual abuse. I wanted to succeed. I did not give up on that competition because of that fear. I wanted to work with it and work through it and then become successful in the end. No matter, I'm going to be successful in the end no matter what, whether I won an award or not won an award, I still made it through. Mm-hmm. So I'm incorporating that not giving up, to stay in there, to stick with it, stick with the program, and I'm here to help you transform not just your body, but the mind. The mind conditioning statements that you can say, that the woman can say for herself while she's doing the program, so she can help herself break through those fears that are within her, whatever that fear happens to be. And since 90% of women have body issues with their body image, that's the majority of women out there.
And men too, right? You
and
probably find men are going through that as well, right?
Yes, they are. And a woman doesn't necessarily have to be overweight to have a body issue. I mean, she can be in a normal weight or thin and still have issues with her body.
Because the pressures of society, when they look at magazine covers, everybody's airbrushed and photoshopped and looks not even
almost
realistic
perfect
these days.
But the good thing is, in the modeling industry, there are a lot more.
They're turning it around. Right.
Yes.
Right. Plus size and
I don't even want to say plus size models because some of them are more
just every day.
Just normal, everyday looking.
Realistic.
Women, realistic.
Exactly.
And then beautiful, just as beautiful.
You also do speaking engagements too, and that has to be very fulfilling when you have an opportunity? Because I know the core of what you do is the one-on-one.
Yes.
You really strive
Yes.
to engage one-on-one. But there are these opportunities that develop when you have a need and a desire, and people have a need and desire to have you speak to a larger venue of people. Tell us about the speaking engagements and what that's like for you. Sharing your story to a larger audience.
It's easy to talk about my own life. So for me, that's an easy thing to do. And I'm very passionate and compassionate about helping people and let them know, like, I did this, I did these things. This is what I did. This is how I did it, to inspire them and to motivate them for change, whatever that looks like for them, you know?
What's some of the feedback that you get of the people that you've had an opportunity to work with one-on-one? I'm sure that you can sense when they really have been able to absorb, whether it's through massage, through exercise, through the book, through anything that you do, the coaching, the mentoring, when they feel like their life is now headed in the right direction, finding their purpose, being a better version of themselves, a more fulfilled version of themselves. What's some of the feedback you get from the people? Because I know that's incredible when you receive it.
The big thing that really comes across for them is to know that I care about them. That it's a comfort to them to know that there's another soul out there that doesn't even know them, that sincerely cares for them, for all of who they are.
And you're not just there with them during the actual appointment. Whenever they need to connect with you, I know you go over and beyond just the normal
within
session.
reason.
Right, right, exactly.
But, yeah, like I need not to be a crutch for them, because even when I went through my own
set the stage,
therapy,
and then they have to take responsibility.
You still, right.
Because a lot of times people, when they go to a coach or a mentor or what have you, even people that will go to a therapist, they want that person to be the person to answer all their questions and to do all the work. But you really have to come to a point, you'll get the ball rolling, but you teach them the tools they need to know to be able to, when Barbara Ann Rose is not in the room with them, be able to get through, to be able to tap in, to be able to deal with things, right? Mm-hmm. You teach them those tools.
Yeah.
What are some of those tools that we need?
Sometimes I actually tell them, when you're in that situation, whatever that situation is, where you're feeling a little stress or, what they're going through, I said, just imagine me, and you're right here next to you, and I'm speaking to you. Imagine me there, talking to you, and I'm saying this, whatever it was, that sentence that I gave them.
That's a tremendous reinforcement for them, too.
And an affirmation or a mind conditioning statement that they can use to help themselves. Remember when I told you this? Keep that with you. Keep it with you. Work with that when you leave this place.
Of all the things that you do that I listed, do you have a favorite or two of all the things that you do? I mean, the wealth and the scope of what you do is incredible. And I probably haven't even listed it all. It'd take the whole interview. But
a favorite.
Things that you really, boy, I really love when I do that. I know the massage is very important.
Oh my gosh. I just love when I touch another person's soul.
Through, no matter how, of all these different things.
However that comes through.
Yeah, that's really something. Because again, while you're touching them, it's also giving you that energy to continue to do what you do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So if somebody...
It feeds both of our souls.
There's nothing else better than that. If people were to make contact, maybe through the website, which we'll mention at the end, what can they expect when they make that initial contact with you? Like like a new client, a new person that you'll be working with. What can they expect, and what's the process like in the beginning? Do you get a sense of who they are? Do you ask questions?
Yeah, actually, that's a part of the energy that I'm feeling when they contact me through the website and go through the contact form, and then I receive it, and I'm actually starting to feel their energy initially.
Oh, you can even through that initial contact?
Yes, I have.
Really?
I can. I've been able to do that.
It's
because
incredible.
they're the ones, if they are being real and true, and if they're the ones that are actually typing in, you know, their own name, or if they're putting a comment in the comment section, if they're giving me a little bit more information about themselves, I'm tapping in to that person just by the fact that they wrote what they wrote.
That's amazing.
And then I respond with, thank you very much for scheduling with me or wanting to schedule with me. And, you know, that's usually the initial email response back from me to get to know them a little bit more and then find out when they want to schedule or what they're interested in, those kind of things.
Of all the things that you do you see, what do you see as the future of the work that you do and what you specifically want to do with it?
What do I see for the future and what I specifically want to do with it? Well, I mean, there are a few things. One of the things that I know we're going to be talking about a little bit more and me demonstrating is this women's exercise program that I'm in the beginning phases, you know, of creating. I think it's really, really important, and I know I stress really important for women to connect back with themselves and honor themselves, and not just, it's honoring all parts of them, their secret energy, their breast, their body, you know, and touch their body and let me help them through that, to not forget. Now, a lot of women may say, well, I haven't forgotten. I know I'm a woman. I know I can create a baby. I know the baby comes through me. But I've seen it throughout the years or hear it online on social media accounts where they say they are, but actually they're really not, because I can see the words that they're writing, that they're using negative words that are attached to sacred parts of their own body. So when I see that, like, I want to be able to help them tap into that. And in the process of doing the workout program, you know, weight loss is like icing on the cake. Because it's about the healing what's going on inside of you. Because there's stuff going on inside of all of us.
Some of it we're not even aware of, right?
Right, let's get real.
Right.
And some of that she may be able to tap into that during the workout program. Some of the things she may already know about, some of the things she may not be consciously aware of. Like I wasn't consciously aware of the sexual abuse that happened to me, you know, so much, until I actually really started looking into myself and going through my own workouts and doing my own bodybuilding, the competitions, and just facing it and not giving up. So I want them to know that, you know, I'm here for them as a support and to help you and to teach them to not give up on this journey. You're going to feel like you want to give up, because there are times where I feel like I want to give up, but I know that I just can't,
right?
because of the higher purpose,
right,
behind it.
So you've developed the ability to be able to push yourself further, even when you have self-doubt, because we all have self-doubt from time to time. You're able to reach deep in and push forward. And that's one of the many things that you want to show people, how they can do that for themselves, right?
Yeah, for them. Yes. Me help them do that for themselves. But initially, a lot of people need that assistance from someone else. You know, but the ultimate goal, you know, is for them to not need me anymore.
Exactly right. Exactly.
But they already have.
They may still call and say, Barbara, but
increased their power to become more empowered and to stand strong and confident for a woman about her sensuality and her sexuality and her spirituality. Because all of those things, when they're heightened and they're strong and you're confident in all of that, you walk around like a different person.
Absolutely. Right, with a confidence, with a glow, and people can notice that.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, you and I have had an opportunity to do a radio series together. We've chatted off camera together, and I've gotten a real sense of you and your essence and the beauty and the value of the work that you do. It isn't just task-oriented. It's on a real deeper level. If you were to able to answer the question of why do you truly love what you do, how would you answer that?
Why do I truly love what I do? I just want to see people, I don't know, happy and healthy. Mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. I'm always mind, body, spirit. Happy and healthy. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's all connected.
If one is off balance, it affects the other.
Yes, it does. It does.
So you love this work.
I do. I love what I do, and I want to do more of that. I want to help more people.
Terrific.
As long as they're willing to do the work.
That's it. It's a team.
It does take work.
It's a team effort.
It is a team effort, and I'm there to support them in their walk, in that journey.
Well, during the interview, Barbara Ann, we talked about the women's exercise program that you've created and developed, and you're going to now show us a couple of different moves and do a little demonstration for us on a little bit of that exercise program, right?
Correct.
Okay, terrific.
Okay, we are doing 3 different moves. It's the pelvic tilt, the bridge, and the plank. So with these moves, I'm including a mind conditioning statement to help the woman become more in touch with her own creation energy, to empower her to face whatever she needs to face with. So the pelvic tilt is hips down, and during this phase, she's going to say, my creation energy, and then as we pelvic tilt inward, she says, is huge. So it is like this. My creation energy is huge. My creation energy is huge. My creation energy is huge. By saying these things, the subconscious mind is going to accept whatever we give to it. So let's give our mind, our subconscious mind, our body power. Instead of saying disharmony statements to ourselves. As a woman, my creation energy, which is her creation energy because she's the one that brings forth babies into life. So this is her creation energy where we're focusing on. And all women have a high power of creation energy. So let's tap into that as a woman by saying it during certain moves in this exercise program, such as the pelvic tilt. My creation energy is huge. Now, one more time. My creation energy is huge. And now we're going to add on and tap into it and use the bridge. So the bridge, we just lift the hips up. But she's going to say the same statement. It is, again, my creation energy in a relaxed state. So it's all relaxed. There's no tilt. My creation energy. And as she lifts the hips at the top, she says, is huge. Come down and release. My creation energy is huge. Down again. Relax. First position. My creation energy is huge. Now we can actually combine those two, the pelvic tilt and the bridge. My creation energy is huge. Relax. My creation energy is huge. Bring it down. Relax. Tilt. My creation energy. Pull it in. Is huge. Release. And up. One more time. My creation energy is huge. Release. My creation energy is huge. So this is something she can do separately. She could do 10 pelvic tilts by saying that, and she can say it out loud, and or she can start saying it inside her mind as she's doing the workout. So say, for instance, she does 10 pelvic tilts, and then she does 10 bridges, and then combining the two, she could do them together. Up, up, down, rest, tilt, up, down, rest, tilt, in, up, down, rest it, tilt, in. So we're doing that as a combo move. Now the other move is a plank. So I'm going to switch gears and go into a plank position, which will be a different mind conditioning statement. So in this respect, I'm going to turn around, and we're going to start on hands. Actually, let's start with elbows and knees, point flexed or pointed, either one's fine. Now this mind conditioning statement, if you notice my hands, they kind of look like they're in prayer position, but this is the normal position that this is held in. So when I did this the other day, I was thinking, well, looks like a prayer position. I like this. And this mind conditioning statement is going to be for her, I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. Now, if she wants to, she can stay here, whether it's for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. We can do that as just one exercise, which is fine. Now, if we want to take it up onto the hands and the knees, and then say the mind conditioning statement. So this can be a second version. I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. And she can stress each individual word. I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. And she can hold that for 10, 20, 30 seconds, however long she's able to. The third one is the full plank. I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. Let me switch. I just noticed. Let me turn around. Now let's start at I'm going to start at the beginning. So the first one, it can be done individually, but also actually all three of these can be used and combined with each other. So the first one again, elbows and knees, hands and knees, feet and knees. So let's just watch and listen for a second. I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. So think that as A. I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. Consider that B. I am one with my body, and my body is one with me. Release and bring it down. Now I'm going to do this into a combination move with that one conditioning mind statement. I am one with my body. My body is one with me. I am one with my body. My body is one with me. I am one with my body. My body is one with me. I am one with my body. My body is one with me. I am one with my body. My body is one with me. So it's something that we can actually play with. Nothing is set in stone. We can make one exercise, two exercise, combine them, pelvic tilt, bridge, and then with the planks, we can do them separately as the A, the B, the C, the elbows and the knees, the hands and the knees, the hands and the feet. They can all be done separately in different stages depending on the level of where the girl is. And if she's advanced, she could combine and she can do all of them like I did in the last section in combining those 3 moves.
And now Barbara Ann Rose is going to demonstrate a little sampling of her massage therapy technique, which we talked about during the course of the interview. We've got a table set up here. We've got a subject waiting in the wings who's going to participate in the process and experience some of Barbara Ann's incredible massage. Now, the sessions usually are about an hour plus, a little bit with you?
Minimum hour, 90 minutes, some are 2 hours.
Terrific. All right, so we're going to watch that technique right now.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I am starting by just connecting with my client right at the base of the spine. From me with her. And then what I will do is that I'm actually going to drape this over in the midline of her body. And so her legs are exposed and half of her back. So I'm going to actually move around the table and do that from that side. And I have oil that I will be using to spread over her skin. Then fold this down. Nice little tuck. Okay. So this oil is a nice, gentle oil. And what I usually do is I kind of like do similar to the raindrop therapy, little drops over the body while my one hand is touching another part of her body, usually the back or the middle of the back, somewhere along the back. This is a nice oil. Soft, silky. And then I like to do the oil up the spine, all the way up to the neck, the base of the neck. It's kind of cool to feel the oil dripping on the body as it just kind of glides down the body. And then I'm going around onto the arm, and the forearm, and I'll do the other leg. And I usually start, sometimes I start at the back, the base of on the bottom of the back. Sometimes I start at the ankles. Kind of depends on where I'm feeling called to start first. And the moves that I'm going to be doing are nice, long, slow. Sometimes fast, sometimes in between. I'm going to put this down. So with her, I'm going to start at the ankle. And then I'm just going to rub, go all the way up, rub the oil in, up and over and around her shoulder, down her arm, down her forearm, even down her hand and off of her fingertips. Up and over. And I use my hands, I use my forearms. So some are a little bit, sometimes the firmness, the pressure, sometimes the pressure is firmer, sometimes it's softer. Like a dance. And I'm going to be moving around the body from one side to the other side. Down the arm, over the low back. All the way down, all the way up, and around the shoulders, to the neck, to the base of the skull. Now with her, I actually felt a connection, a deeper connection when I went up to touch the base of her skull. So usually when I feel that connection, I pause and hold that connection with her because it's something that she particularly needs on this particular day at this particular time. And around the body, down the arm, down the forearm, down the hand, down the fingers, and trace the body. Up and around and down. Some feel more smoother, some feels more rougher, meaning me and my pressure. Down, pushing around the hip and pulling up around the shoulders, pushing down slightly, just a little bit. This is a softer pressure. I can feel like she needs that softer pressure right in the forearm area. So our body is one great big huge organism filled with energy. Gracefully, sometimes I just do that graceful touch with the fingers. Gentle move up, a little bit firmer, right along the spine. Not on, along. Down the side, I'm going down the side of her body here. I'm moving my forearm up and over, and even touching her other arm. See how gentle that is. And a little bit firmer, right on this arm down. This hand basically is staying on her hand as a comfort. like a little hug. Pause. And this can be different for each individual because I am working with the person that's on my table. I'm actually working with not just their body, but it's their energy. It's within them, who they are, what's going on inside of them on that particular time frame. No expectations, just a follow through, a flow. So some days it may be that a person needs a little bit of more extra attention on the back, but they think they want their neck. It doesn't have to necessarily be the body part that they think they need, but more about what their body is telling me what it needs. Gentle, right around the head. Just a light touch covering the ears, around the ears, and into the top of the head. Pressure points. And if I ever feel like I need to hold, it's being held, whether I need to hold it for 2 seconds or whether I need to hold it for 10 or even 30 seconds or maybe even a minute if necessary. And I even, at times, crisscross, where my arms are actually crossed and working with her body. I never quite know where my hands will go or what they will do because I'm trusting what's being done is best for that person that's in need. So oftentimes, a person is able to go into that space of the Never Never Land, where they may feel like they leave their body, or they may feel like they entered into this other place where it just feels so incredibly relaxing. It's like it's dreamy. It can feel like a magical place. Now I'm gonna cover this. So I'll drape her back over. So once I feel complete with the back of the body, then I will have her turn over and work the front. All the 7 main chakras are along the spine. There's 7, so there's the root, there's the sacral, there's the solar plexus right in the middle, and there's the heart chakra, right around the heart. There's also the throat chakra, which is all about communication. There's the third eye, and then there's the crown right above the head. So when I'm doing and working in my massage therapy, I'm doing energy work at the same time with the divine touch. So I'm helping and working with those chakras so they feel more sense of wholeness when they leave, while they're in session and when they leave. And then it's up to them when they leave to carry that forth in their day-to-day life. Nice caress. If I'm doing this in the beginning of the day, to end, they say a lot of times to move up the body to help give them energy, to keep that energy. If it's at the end of the day, then it's stroking down. I'm going to go back up so she's even on the right side and the left side. And as I end, if I end on the back of the body, I usually have one hand at the base of the spine and the other hand is resting at the bottom of the neck, right at the bottom of the head. And I hold. I say done. Thank you.
Well, Barbara, that's truly amazing. You demonstrated the massage therapy for us as well as the exercise program. Those are truly unique, and I can see how you really get into it. I mean, you don't just do it to demonstrate things that people don't really pull from. You really yourself get so deeply involved in what you do, don't you?
Yes, I do, sir.
Well, it was such an honor and pleasure to have you with us here in the CUTV News studio and to meet you personally. And I commend you for everything that you do. We want to mention, of course, the book again is tremendous, Angel Works. It's a really, really important and a very deep read. And thank you for sharing your story with us with the book as well. And we wish you continued success, Barbara Ann Rose.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. To learn more about Barbara Ann Rose, her speaking engagements, as well as her services, her workshops, and about her incredible book, Angel Works, visit her website, thespacebetweenthethorns.com. I'm Jim Masters, CUTV News.